Yeah, this is Point Black coming in with another Doc Rich on their head again. Always up on his thing. I love this brother, you know what I'm saying, because this brother does it right. He brings the information, he brings it hot off the press, and ain't nothing more sweeter than Doc Rich when he's at his best. You know what I'm saying? Shout out goes out to the great Doc Rich. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, we have a little something here that, you know what I'm saying, Doc Reese just laid out. He drop out on his platform. He gets a thumbs up for me as usual. You know what I'm saying? But let's just check out what Doc Rich brought to, you know, the floor. Let's go.
So if you would like to help me out even further with this YouTube algorithm too, watch this video to the very end. It helps out tremendously. Greatly appreciate it. All right? I really would. Watch it to the end. Make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. All right? Help out with the algorithm, baby. And hey, thank you guys for all of the continued love and support, man. I greatly appreciate every single last one of you guys, man. You guys are absolutely amazing.
Now
Thank
that's
you,
what I'm
thank you,
talking
thank
about.
you.
You're welcome,
This
Doc Rich.
doesn't happen
Believe that.
without all of you. Truly, it doesn't happen without all of you. The message doesn't get pushed out to the masses without all of you. So, I mean, thank you, thank you, thank you. But that being said, let's shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson.
What's your opinion on what's happening with the Great White Hope, Donald Trump, right now?
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used, etc., etc. We know those as the Miranda rights. Miranda was not a nice person, but when you have law, a lot of times some of the most sacred principles are established through the aegis or the agency of somebody that's not nice. Now, if you're worried about downing Trump, you lose track of the fact that what you see, the indictments in New York, Florida, and Georgia, are completely outside of the law. Take what this clown Bragg did in New York. Whether you like Trump or not, essentially what they did is
What was the process of actually putting this?
Indicted him for being the victim of a blackmail attempt. They said he attempted to bribe Stormy Daniels to remain silent. This guy didn't go to law school and didn't pay much attention when he was there, because when you flip the script as you were instructed first year, if you had to pay somebody to be quiet, you got blackmailed. So he's the victim of a felony. If you indict a corporation for failure to file an explicit report as to what the payout was, well, there was a court gag order, and if they filed the explicit report, they violated the court gag order. Okay, get to Georgia. I won't belabor all of the accounts, but I downloaded the 92-page indictment, and I was shocked to find that some of the crimes were that Trump is supposed to have advocated checking out Newsmax, Fox News, and some other conservative, religious-based news institutions. They're legal. Hell, I read them. So that's supposed to be somehow or another criminal now. All right, you get down to this thing in Florida, and they're talking about the documents. Well, let's forget what Trump did. Let's go back when he was not president of the United States and George Herbert Walker Bush was. There's a case from 1988, U.S. Supreme Court. It's called United States Department of Navy versus Egan, E-G-A-N. And if you read the concurring opinions, they say, since constitutionally the president is the commander-in-chief of the military and chief diplomat of the country, he has an inherent power to declassify or classify anything, any document, in any form, shape, or fashion he chooses. He can do what he wants with it because, guess what? The mandate that causes it to be prepared says it is for the exclusive purpose of advising the president on the state of our intelligence versus what's going on in the world. So he also has a fiduciary responsibility, it's been held, that you do, once you take that oath, whether you are in office or not, it still binds you, and you have to make an assessment on whether archivists have appropriate security clearances. And also, the other thing goes to this. Even if Congress comes up with a law that says he can't, well, that's unconstitutional. And Marbury versus Madison, 1803, 220 years ago, says if Congress passes an unconstitutional act, it is null and void. And that's what seems to be the case here. So you keep going into it, and you find something that is very disturbing. Individuals belonging to a party are going to do the equivalent of a child in elementary school throwing something at another child and then running to the teacher and saying, teacher, he's going to hit me. You just wait until you go, my mommy picks me up. You won't be able to catch me. Nah, nah, nah. See, that's what it looks like. And the idea that three individuals are going to, or three little entities are going to deprive the American public of who they want to vote for is absolutely disturbing. Let's say it looks like the National Socialist Workers Party. Now, if you're not familiar with that, the acronym for National Socialist Workers Party is Nazi, N-A-Z-I. And we remember Adolf and Heinrich and all those guys. And what happened?
Let me ask this. Do you think they're going to put him in prison?
There's no way this should stand on appeal. What they want to do is take allowance of what Biden and Stennis and Byrd introduced 40 years ago, is legislation that allows a U.S. attorney, for the specific purpose of crippling someone, bringing criminal charges, even if there's no chance of making them stick. This is what I said was happening when they started the prosecution of Dr. Bill Cosby. I said, this is so far on the wrong side of the Fifth Amendment, there's no way it would stand. Now, I've talked to Dr. Cosby personally several times since he got out, and they offered him immediately, we'll let you out 2 or 3 days if you'll just go along and concede. No way. He wouldn't. And the bottom line is, you can't violate the Fifth Amendment by saying one DA says we're not going to prosecute. Okay, so now he doesn't have any protection against being required in a civil matter to answer interrogatories. And then another DA coming in and saying we're not bound by that. We're going to take his interrogatories and use them as the basis for our prosecution. He never admitted wrong. All he was doing was saying, hey, it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, sex revolution. When all this was going on, they got what they wanted. I didn't take advantage of them. But you see, those were constitutional principles that are more important than anyone's grievance because they impact all of us. That's what's scary about this whole thing.
Amazing. Short answer. What is the solution to all this mess?
Home training, but since we don't have home training, we have to get back to where we were
having a dad in the home
40 years ago, 45, 50, 60 years ago, which is churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, the public, the movies, the entertainment industry. The people start talking about character, making where you live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, etc. Being brave and courageous, men and women of public peace, dignity, order, otherwise, where it's up to us to do this. Nobody's going to do it for us.
Yes.
Yep. So there you have it. I wanted to, really let that video run without, too many interruptions. But I think Judge Joe Brown perfectly illustrated or perfectly said what needed to be said there. All of this is just a smoke and mirrors. They know this is BS. They understand this is BS. The top is very, very intelligent. And like I said before, I said this a while ago, A lot of you may remember. I think they're trying to perform a death by 1,000 cuts, right? Oh, we're gonna attack you here. We're gonna come after you here. We're gonna come after you over here. We're gonna come after you over here. Oh, look behind you. We're back. Oh, like that. That's what I think they're attempting to do. Surround them on all sides and get them by a death by 1,000 cuts. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Financially, oh, we're gonna drain you. Oh, you think you're about to use all those funds for your campaign trail? Absolutely not. You got to pay these lawyers. I'm gonna have you in court. Oh, you think you're about to campaign? We're gonna have you over here. 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 Every single week, 3 times a week, we gonna have you all over the place. So try if you want to campaign. You're gonna be tired. That's what I think it is. You're gonna have to fight for this. And listen, they're gonna pull some other stops. I'm telling you now, this isn't it. They've got something else up their sleeves. Trust me when I tell you, exactly what that is, I have no clue. I've got some speculation what it might be, what it possibly could, or there has been speculation as to what those things might be. Tucker Carlson mentioned it, an actual war, right? Bringing back the mandates, is one of the things that they may try to do. But I think neither one of those is the actual thing that's going to happen. I think it's going to be something out of left field, something completely unexpected. I think it's going to happen, in my personal opinion. Now, I could always be wrong. It could always be wrong. I don't have any inside information or anything. This is just me, putting 2 and 2 together and putting myself in their shoes. And like I said before, I always try to put myself in other people's shoes so I can see things from their perspective. And when I do that, I come to the conclusion that I will stop at nothing in order to make sure that he is never in office again. I will stop at nothing. So that means my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour to come up with these different solutions, because ridiculing him didn't work. Trying to change the court of public opinion did not work. It failed in spectacular fashion. These indictments are not working. He's becoming more popular by the day. His darn mugshot helped him raise, according to certain sources, allegedly $10 million. He's raised off of his mugshot. That was supposed to be the end-all, be-all. So who do I go from here? I don't think that I could do what, people are suspecting I would do, which, some people have said that he could possibly be pine-boxed. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'd be way too obvious. People are watching. The entire world is watching. And I just don't think that would happen. Like I said, I think it's going to be something out of left field that we aren't expecting. I mean, we're expecting something. But what they do isn't going to be expected. It's going to be like, whoa, what the? I didn't see that one coming. All right. How are we going to make sure that people know that this is BS? I'm telling you. I don't have any inside information. This is just me speculating and putting 2 and 2 together. All right? 2 plus 2 always equals 4, and it always will. All right? And 4 is telling me